Hello there everyone and welcome to our Creative Jumpstart class with the Glint and Glimmer release. Today we're going to be creating this beautiful card using some of the new hot foil plates and also the coordinating stencil too. So to start with, I am going to be using this really beautiful Gilded Rose, and this is the hot foil plate. I'm going to take the hot foil plate itself and I'm going to pop this onto some hot foil. Now this is nice and cold at the minute, so I can trim around this to make sure that I have enough of the hot foil before I start. I'm going to be using the Go Press and Foil from Couture Creations for my hot foiling. So I'm going to pop my plate down onto the heating pad and I'm going to let that heat up. So once that has turned green and it's all nicely done, I'm then going to add my foil on top of that, shiny side down. Then I'm going to add the cardstock that I'm going to be working onto, and I'm just going to add a little shim in there as well. That little shim does make a lot of difference with my foiling. You may need to play around with yours to see how many shims that you need, and you may not need any shims at all. So once I've run that through my die cutting machine, I can then remove the foil and you can see just how pretty that foiled rose is there. I'm then going to take the coordinating simple colouring stencils for this one. Now there are 3 stencils in here, but there are 4 layers, so we have 2 of the layers on one of the stencils. So to start with, I'm going to use the base and I'm just going to pop that stencil around the outline that we've just foiled with the beautiful foiling machine. And I'm just going to add some pink diamond on through the stencil there. Once I'm done with that one, I'm then going to move that one out and then add the second stencil into place. And for that one, I'm going to be using the Pinkalicious ink. And then going to move on to the third stencil. I am using the layering guide within the packaging for the stencil to help me line this one up. So for the third layer, I did use the Rubelite ink. And then for this fourth layer here, I'm going to be using the Razzleberry to add that really dark center in. I just love how this turned out. So once I'm done with that, I'm then decided I wanted to put this onto a dark background. So I'm going to add this onto some navy cardstock. So to get rid of that white edge before I fussy cut, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Desert Night artist marker and I'm just going to kind of go around the outside edge. Now you do need to be careful because this will colour over that beautiful foiling that we've just done. Once I'm happy with the kind of border that I've added around the flower, I'm just going to fussy cut this out using my scissors, and you can see just how pretty that looks there. So this is the base that I'm going to be using. So this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 and it is a navy card. And all I'm going to do then is I am going to add some splatter. So I kind of want to add some more gold into this as well as the foiling. So I'm just going to splatter using the kind of nozzle that comes in it. And then I wanted some larger ones, so I'm just going to use a paintbrush too. Once I'm done with that, I'm just going to move that over to the side and I'm going to work on my sentiment. So I am going to be using the Bold Thanks die. So I'm going to take the shadow one first and I'm just going to kind of add this to a piece of scrap paper just so I can cut around it, as we're going to be adding some foil onto this one. So I'm going to add some double-sided adhesive onto this first before I can then add the foiling onto it. So I'm just going to remove the backing from that and then take some of my foil and just rub that onto the double-sided adhesive. Once that's done, I then have this beautiful piece of foiled cardstock ready to go. I'm going to take the same die, so this is the shadow one, and I'm just going to run this through my die cutting machine. So I am using my Mini Blossom, but you can use whichever machine that you do have to hand. Once I've run that through my machine, I can then take that out of the die, and you can see that we have this really beautiful thanks shadow with that beautiful gold foil in there. With most foiling, there is like a little wrapper on it or a carrier sheet. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little pin and I'm just going to remove that carrier sheet before I move any further with this. I'm then going to take the thanks sentiment from the Bold Thanks die set and I'm going to cut that out of some navy cardstock. Now I do have some double-sided adhesive already on the back of this piece, so it's in theory created my own little stickers. So once I've done with that, I can then take the little singular pieces from the thank sentiment and I'm just going to pop them into place onto the shadow piece that we have with the gold foiling. Now it will add a little bit of a border around these dark letters and it is going to shine really, really prettily. I do love how this one turns out as well. I do love a little bit of gold. So now I have my sentiment ready, I can then pop my card together. So I have my little panel and all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my large floral that we've hot foiled and stenciled. I'm going to add some foil onto the back of that and then add that into place onto the panel. Once that's nicely adhered, I'm just going to flip that panel over and cut off any overhanging pieces from behind. I can then add some more foam to the back of my little sentiment piece, our little layered piece that we've just created, just to add a little bit of dimension with the foam tape there. Once I have all those little pieces of foam into place, I'm just going to remove all of the backing off those, and then once that's done, I can add my sentiment into place. All I need to do now is just add this whole panel onto a card base of your choice. And here is the card complete. I really do hope that you like the card and that you've enjoyed the video as well. If you do create a card that was inspired by this, it'd be great if you do share because we would really love to see. Thank you so much for watching everyone and we'll see you again really, really soon. Bye bye.